Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I took a little break with the World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth, as probably everybody in the world did. So now I'm back. I have another new video here, and it ties in quite nicely with the video that I did before I took a break for WoW about snowballing. It's a couple of weeks ago, but if you haven't seen that, you should probably check that out as well. Today we want to talk about how to play when you're behind. And it's a very important thing in Heroes of the Storm because you have a couple of situations in Heroes where you're just going to be behind no matter what you do. Like, you lose a couple of early team fights or you lose an objective, and that happens because you just, you can't win every fight. And then you end up in a situation where you're behind and you can't catch up. I want to show you first what are a couple of simple mistakes that happen to everybody, that I also make, and that you should avoid doing if you want to get better at Heroes of the Storm. So we're going to give you a little bit of a outlook here. This is an unranked game that I played today. I'm Alex Strasser, and the blue team made it all the way back on to 13 versus 15, meaning they actually have a good chance to fight this objective, but unfortunately for them, they don't play as a team that well together, and we have the item advantage. So therefore, we're going to win this fight here now, and that means that we will get a talent tier advantage over them with an objective. So we win this fight, and again, this is what I mean, like, you can't win all of the team fights. Sometimes it just happens that you lose one. So now we have the objective, and we're gonna see what happens now to this game. So if we look at the map, we already won the first objective, which gave us the first lead, and now we killed 3 people of their team. That means we have a talent tier advantage. You don't want to fight 13 versus 16. The blue team wants to fight once they reach 16 again, and before we reach level 20. Now we have the objective, so we will push our advantage even further. On Volskaya, normally what you want to do on the second objective, you take the fort, and then you take the fort in the middle because it's normally left over from the first one, first Triglav, because it's not strong enough. And then you go all the way down and take out the well for sure, and hopefully the fort as well, because the third Triglav will spawn on zone C, and that means you want to get an advantage by taking out the blue team's fortifications on the bottom. The thing is, though, I see that we're level 13 versus level 16, so we have 3 levels advantage. We have 3 people down, so I'm going to decide now to kill the fort and move on to the keep wall. So the correct decision making from the blue team would be now, we have 2 people alive, this fort is dead. No matter what you do, this is dead, and the experience can't be soaked here safely. Nazeebo has the correct idea. He goes to mid because there's Artanis and he can get some stacks here. Deckard should also actually go down bottom because there's free XP to be soaked. You're a healer, you can't really do anything against this attack. Like, you don't do any damage. It's very neglectable. And now you're taunted, you've lost your ability to heal yourself, you're slowed, and you actually just get killed by the Kel'Thuzad. This is one of the first mistakes that you're gonna make, and you have to make it only once. Like, you have to understand this is not a good way to play this game. Just giving this up is totally fine. This doesn't do anything. It gives us, on the red side, a little bit of XP, but the XP that we get from killing you is actually more important because you can't do anything now. You're dead. Next thing you know, the Sonya dies. Another death. So now Deckard is down 17 seconds, Sonya is down 32 seconds. So now Nazeebo comes back because he feels like he needs to defend the keep, and I think it's the correct move. You need to defend the keep, but you need to be safe by doing it. Lich is also AFK, obviously doesn't help, but it's unranked game, so he might be just tilted or whatever, it doesn't really matter. But those 2 deaths here, they can't happen. This is something that you should never do. And now you feed another death into us. So this is actually where I'm going to stop already and just continue explaining a little bit, and then we go into the HEC game that was played yesterday. So as you can see, we're now 4 levels ahead. We probably get this keep now. And the blue team hasn't done anything. They just fed us a couple of kills. First Deckard died, then Sonya died, now Zerial dies. And this chaining of deaths is something that you have to stop. Again, obviously, in Hero League environment or an unranked environment, you don't normally have full control of your teammates. So if they, die, you can't change that. But it's important for you to not make this mistake. Give up this fort. It's for free. It's fine. Give up this fort. Soak XP against Artanis. You could even go and gank Artanis here. Just like go on. Kill him. He's alone. You had 3 people up. soak this XP. Look how free this XP is. It's also very, very safe. Even if you lose the keep here, it doesn't matter that much because you're so far behind. Defending this keep will not give you the advantage of getting to the same talent tier ever. Like this is, you will not be able to defend this. So the important thing is that you have to get this in your mind, that not every lost building is a defeat. Like losing this doesn't change the game so far. Losing this will not end the game. The Tree Glove is already like at 32% health, so it will not finish the game. It will not go core. So losing this, sure, will give you a disadvantage over the red team, but it's not going to end the game. Again, you obviously don't want to lose the buildings in general. You don't want to have catapults in the top, but it's important that you don't feed deaths on top of buildings. If you can defend the building, awesome. You defended it, it's really good. But generally speaking, buildings are not worth the death of your teammate. So just keep that in mind. And as you can see here, this completely snowballs out of control. We're 4 levels ahead, and to spoiler you, they don't get back. We actually try to threaten the core here now. We get more kills. And then for the last Tree Glove, we actually have level 20, and they have like, I don't think they even reached level 16 for that. So this is how you don't play from behind. You're behind already, you're down the talent tier, don't fight into the enemy team. We're going to now jump into a game that was played yesterday in HGC, which is Team Dignitas against Fnatic on Tomb of the Spider Queen. And we're going to learn how to play from behind with a coordinated team. So, okay, so here we are in this game on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Again, it's Dignitas versus Fnatic. So we have Poik on Sergeant Hammer, we have Zelia on Deckard Cain, Bobby on the Dehaka, JPL playing Garrosh, we have Snitch on Junkrat. And on the red team, we have Fnatic with Smexy or SMX on Mafia, and Last Hope is on the Blaze. We have Shrimpy on Greymane, Mene is on the Gul'dan, and we have Breeze without a name currently on Johanna. So let's give you a little bit of an overview. As you can see, Fnatic is down 1 level and 1 talent here, and this has been the whole game. You can see there's very little kills, which is one of the reasons why they're only behind such a little amount of XP. For the story of the game, basically Dignitas got the early rotations, won the wave fear fight, and got a couple of payments. And as you can see, they're already at 65 gems per payment. Gems always ramp up by 5. That means you have the first one for 50. As you can see, Fnatic hasn't paid once. They're still at 50. Then the second one is 55. The third one is 60. And then the fourth will be 65. So Fnatic has weathered the storm. Lost a couple of buildings, but they defended 3 full web beaver pushes. They lost top fort, they lost mid fort, and they lost bottom fort. They only lost 1 keep wall, which is in mid, and top keep wall got a little bit of damage, and they lost the door basically, but it's not, the end of the world. That being said, this is how it looks. Now, Dignitas is a team that always takes advantage of the level and tier advantages. So they're 16, and I don't want to fight them. They have 1 level and 1 tier advantage behind, and that's been, again, the whole game. Basically, as soon as Dignitas got 10, Fnatic stayed defensive. When they got 13, Fnatic stayed defensive, and as you can see, there's no deaths, there's no kills for Fnatic, so Dignitas didn't lose anybody, and Dignitas on their side only killed 1 person, and that was Mene. So you can see everybody in this game was playing very tactical. So now here comes the situation, how Fnatic comes back from this. Again, they're down a talent tier and the level, even a little bit more than level. And now Dignitas does that, what Dignitas does best. They take their advantage and take a boss. And why taking this boss is so important is that at the end, they can't always defend both points as long as they're 16. So they know that there's going to be a payment from Fnatic. And Fnatic, that's the first payment. But they have only basically bottom pushing properly, and now mid. Dignitas can now ignore top because the boss is going to push into this lane and defend it. So Dignitas still has the advantage even though the wet wheel push is coming. And again, look at this. Fnatic used just 2 cooldowns to just keep Dignitas at bay. So now they have 1 payment through, and look at what Dignitas is doing. They're just defending mid, they're going to defend bottom, and they don't have to do anything on top because, again, the boss is pushing, so everything's fine. But now look what Fnatic is doing. Fnatic is 5-man defending here. Why? Because it's safe and they don't lose keep here now. The boss, if undefended, would probably have gone to keep and heavily damaged it, maybe even taken it. So now they have Web Weaver here that doesn't do anything. But in the time that it took everybody to clean up everything, Fnatic finally is on the same talent here. So this is what you want to do. You want to only fight on the same talent here. And now look at how many gems Fnatic still has. There's 50 on Shrimpy, there's 60 on Breeze, 12 on Mene, and even Last Hope has 25. So they have another payment in here, and they're on the same talent here. The important thing is now, how do you convert this into winning? Because you were back the whole game, you lost most of the game, and you were behind because of the bad rotations from Fnatic. From Dignitas. So Fnatic now knows we're just gonna have to pay. And Dignitas knows, hey, we're pretty far away from a turn end. Like, we have another 10, 15 gems waiting for us before we can actually do anything. So now teams are both fighting. And as you can see, Fnatic doesn't really care. They take the camp here now, but they're still level behind even more. So the race is now going to level 20, right? So Fnatic wants to, become 20 before Dignitas can get it. But Dignitas is obviously huge XP advantage ahead. That being said, they have 159 gems on the side of Fnatic. So now they try to just like pay and win by more of the payments push with the Web Weavers. Unfortunately for them, Dignitas has a lot of interrupts. So paying down here is going to be very, very difficult. And as we can see from the low kills, both teams play very tactical. So it's not going to be easy just like roll over and play dead for Dignitas just because they don't have any gems. They want to continue fighting, they want to interrupt, and they have a push going on here. So now they're even 2 levels ahead, but obviously it's only 1 in a little bit. But now this is pushing into the keep of Fnatic, and Snitch is going to put more pressure onto this. And this is really dangerous for Fnatic because they will have to deal with this. The Night Camp will take the keep if it's not defended. So Fnatic again loses a little bit because they can't pay here, and Dignitas are happy because again they're 2 levels ahead nearly, and they will be level 20 before Fnatic. So look at what Fnatic is doing. Everybody is safe, everybody's just like behind the walls, they don't do anything crass, but they get a little bit of a push down here. Remember, they were trying to get payment here, so they had full control of the bottom lane here, and now they took the fort. So a little bit of XP goes towards them, and that's what you have to do a little bit to understand how to come back from behind. They had the same talent here. They weren't fighting though. They didn't try to force anything because again, they knew that they probably didn't get a team fight one-on-one or like the full team against each other and can guarantee a positive outcome. Instead, they just control the lane where they can safely. That was the bottom lane because they saw everybody from Dignitas up here. And they get with this the fort, which gives XP. On top of that, they defended again very safely. They all went down through here. They didn't go through the bushes here, up here, and then came from behind to the night camp. Everybody went very safely around and took the night camp down here. So now the keep is half down. But again, Fnatic still has the payment going on. But now Dignitas also has enough gems. So it worked out for everybody. And look at this now. Again, blue Web Weaver is descending. Dignitas has gotten another payment and now creates even a fight. This is good for Dignitas. They want to fight because look at this. There's a top wave here. This could threaten top keep. And then bottom wave is not, it's pretty much in the middle, so it doesn't really make a big difference. But if Dignitas can keep Fnatic here, it's great for them because they will only be able to defend the middle Web Weavers or fight into the middle Web Weavers. And for Dignitas, that's great because they have protection basically from their own minions. And Fnatic can't really like fight into everything here. And they lose, you know, if they don't take care of it, lose top keep. So let's have a look what Fnatic is doing. Posturing around, try to see if they can pick a pickoff. And they know this Web Weaver here is going to be pretty easy to kill. There's minion wave still here. And they have pretty good wave clear now with level 17 on Mena and Shrimpy. So it should be done very quickly. Look where Breeze is. He's just anchoring here. And now he's teleporting back, but he gives vision, so they know that they're very safe. But now, as you can see, everybody tries to go back. Ubi tries to get Fnatic Smaxy, and now, look what happens. They made a mistake. Suddenly, SMX is at a position is going to be dying. So this is horrible, right? Like you have a web weaver pushing, your keep is nearly dead, and the blue web weavers are going on. This one doesn't do a lot of things, but as you can see, like, wow, panic. And how did this happen? Basically, Wooby was just like super patient. He saw Johanna go in here, and then he just tried to interrupt the teleports because he knew that they were going teleporting. They saw that. So look at this now. Smexy again has no chance. SMX has no chance to escape. Mene escapes. Wooby tries to find him, but it's too late. But look, with the rotation here, everybody was able to save the keep. So you win some, you lose some. But this is a big, or was a big mistake by Fnatic. They overstayed and then they teleported too early. That being said, with the teleports, or with only one person being caught, they also are able to defend their keep here. Top also doesn't die. Perfect. So you lose one person, but now look at Dignitas. They're near level 20. That means even if you have the payment, and again, Fnatic has enough gems, what are they going to do? 4 people defending the keep, and look how they're positioned. Snitch is the one person that can be dangerous because he might be able to basically loop somebody over here with a bomb. And then Garrosh can throw somebody. But as you can see, Breeze is in front, Last Hope is in front. So they're fighting as 4 people at the keep. There's nobody who's just solo running into this. It's a coordinated effort. If there was only one person, they would also just let the keep die. But they know, hey, they're not 20 yet. We want to fight now. So Last Hope goes in. They get a pretty good fear off on Zelia. And they kill Zelia. So the defense actually works. Without the healer, the use of good heroics, now they're in a position where they can fight. Again, they did everything correctly because they waited for them to gather here. And they use all of the heroics. So now they can defend and continue grinding out the XP. Again, Dignitas is going to be level 20 much sooner. So look at what they're doing. They're sticking around together pretty much. This is only something that you can do in the late game. You normally don't want to do this in the mid game because you're going to miss out XP. But again, they're still missing a full level. So let's see how they get it. Both teams just take some mercenaries now. And Dignitas obviously also has a hard time now to find XP, but they only need a very little one. So Wooby will probably take care of this wave here by just being safe. And if you look at it, Wooby doesn't have a lot of vision on the enemy team either. This is Wooby's vision. He just sees Mene here. But other than that, he doesn't see anybody. So he was going to be playing very defensively as well. Moves over here. Lets he see somebody, and now he just runs. Because he doesn't want to fight before level 20. Now they got 20, now they want to fight. That being said, Deckard is still down, so it's going to be difficult for them to fight here, even if they're up Storm Talents. Again, this is something that you need to do. If the enemy is ahead, but you get a kill, you need to take advantage of that. You need to be able to take advantage of these small mistakes, of these small blunders that the enemy does. And Fnatic does exactly this. Deckard is down. They know Dignitas can't really fight. They scout everything. This is basically for scouting the fire. Like you saw the fire here to scout Wooby or to see if anybody's in the bush. And now everybody marches in here and they pay. And this is how you, in this case, get the XP. Look at this. The minion wave is pushed out here. They get XP here. This minion wave is going to be interesting as well because it is actually pretty big. It's nearly 1.5 minion waves here. So let's see what happens here now. Again, they need full XP. They need to be really getting close to level 20 because otherwise they will not get a lot of things done. And it's still half a level. And from 19 to 20, it's a lot of time that you need. And now look at this. Nobody is going along. What's happening? Why is there not like somebody soaking mid or top, as I explained for the Volskaya thing? And the reason is it's late game. You can't be caught late game alone. If the enemy has such an advantage, don't be the person that dies first. Fnatic just stays together. They know. Here's the minion wave coming in. XP. There you go. And look how they're positioned. The tanks and the bruisers are in the front. Shrimpy can take this safely and then escape with his E if he needs to. And Mene and Smexy are far back. This is obviously problematic, but they have vision over all of Dignitas here with the Web Weavers. And Dignitas has to clean them, because if you just leave them and try to fight here, even if you're 20, these will do a lot of damage to your buildings. And the worst thing that you can do is play too aggressive with level 20 and then lose a lot of structures, and suddenly your opponent is level 20 just because you tried to fight. So now, retreat. They run. And XP soaking. Now you can see Last Hope is soaking XP. This was soaked by Shrimpy. Now everybody stays back. They stay together. Last Hope gets this XP. The big wave that I said that looked super appealing, not taken. Nobody came here. Nobody did anything with this. Because they want to play safe. And this is really important. If you're behind, dying is not that bad. You don't give that much XP to your opponent. Especially if they're level 20, it doesn't really matter that much XP-wise. But if you don't play safe in this situation and you die, and you cause a chain reaction of other people dying, the team that is ahead can just go to core, potentially. And then look what happens to Dignitas. They're now a little afraid, because they know they don't have any gems anymore. They literally have 0 gems in the bank. And they know that Fnatic actually scales pretty well. Meno has his quest done, pretty strong level 20 as well. And everybody gets to stronger level 20. And look at this, the level 20. How did this happen? They didn't do a lot. And this is something that people need to understand. You don't have to do a lot to gain back XP. Sure, obviously it helped that they get to turn in, you know, a lot of the gems, but how do they get the gems? They just keep staying alive. Nobody died. Like, look at this. There's 2 kills that happened. One of them was very early, and it took out Mena, who didn't have a lot of gems. And the second one was here down with SMX, and he didn't have gems that mattered. They have still 141 gems. Look at this, 141. That's 2 payments more that they have, even by playing defensively. So now they're level 20, and now it's where Fnatic knows we can fight. We can now force the payment, because we're on the same talent tier. And that's exactly what happens. Look at this. Both of the keeps were so low. They don't have any HP anymore, and they saved it by playing safe and defensively. And if it happens like down here, obviously Mena could have come here and tried to defend SMX and fight here. But the talent tier down, why? He just ran away and ported. You Hearthstone home. And SMX, he knew that he was dead. He tried to like escape Bobby, tried to root him. Didn't work. He's dead. It's fine. Fnatic didn't panic. They just played it very, very safe. And this is what is really important about Heroes of the Storm. You will fall behind in some games. It's unavoidable sometimes. And look at this. Dignitas tries to attack here, and now they're afraid because there's a Web Weaver push coming. They can't just fight in here because there's a mob wave. As we said earlier, with Fnatic not wanting to fight in the Web Weavers, Dignitas doesn't want it either. And now look at this. Dignitas also has to defend with 5 people. They can't just like stay back and like not defend. But again, they don't look how defensively they're posturing now here as well. Nobody's like here or here to defend this. They know this fort is gone. Just accept that sometimes you will lose a building. That's totally fine. And this is also important what Fnatic is doing. They're not splitting up. They're not like, oh, we take this fort. Oh, we're going to push this wave. Like somebody will go down here and somebody will go down here. No. It's 20 versus 20. Everybody has Storm Talents. There's no reason to go for this fort. Doesn't really matter. This fort is meaningless. Even if they take bottom keep wall further, it doesn't matter. You know what matters? Getting this open. Getting the keep wall open. Getting this keep. You know why? Because there's a win condition here. There's a boss here that you want to take after your Weavers, maybe. If you can. If they have to struggle, if Dignitas struggles to keep everything clean, you can just go here and take boss and then push further. Once you catch up on XP, don't split up again, especially this late game. Like once you're 20, there's very rarely a reason for you to split up unless you have a global. If you have a global hero who can be, ooh, nice try, who can be coming to the team whenever he wants to, so a Dehaka, Falstad, like a proper global, not like Junkrat. Junkrat, I think, can't really split this much because you still need like a couple of seconds to move around. Look at this, what Dignitas does. They want to clean this up. They don't want to lose a keep here now after being ahead for so long. Done. Kill. And this is now also for Dignitas important. They lost their tank, but look how they defend. They have Hammer here, they have Snitch here. They don't panic, they don't try to attack into them, into 5 people. No, they just like keep it defensively. They're like, okay, happens. We're gonna clean this, we're gonna clean this. Now they split up a little bit. But why do they, I just said like, don't split up, you know. But now they split up. Why do they split up? Because they're now behind. They were in front all game long and now they're behind. They just lost their tank, meaning they can't contest the boss. Dignitas also doesn't have any gems. Fnatic still has 102. They will pay another time, like here. So now they're behind. And what are they doing? They play it perfectly, in my opinion. They split up a little bit. They clear this wave here so that there's not also minions already attacking the core, the keep. Mubi just waits here because there's nothing that he can do. He has a little bit of vision here, and he knows that they're going to pay here for 90%, 95%. They know that the move is boss and payment. So this is very dangerous to take because you can't just like walk out here and de-push this. This is also something that you have to do when you're behind. You have to understand which lanes you can push. Snitch knows this one is pretty safe. He also has the trap in here, so he sees the movement coming through here. And he clears this wave now bottom. They clear top. And why do they do this? To be safe. To make sure that the pushes that come from Fnatic are further back. It's important that they can now like push this out, hopefully push it even further. That's why they take this camp here, because this allows them to keep bottom lane basically safe and under control without having to think about de-pushing it very much. Smart. They don't take it, they wait for the payment and the boss, because if they take it now, it will just start walking over here and probably will be not as effective. If you just take it once the web rivers spawn, it will help defend the web rivers as well. And look at this. Wobby didn't even do anything. And look, the wave is now here. They can take it very safely. So the Dignitas is behind. They do exactly the same thing that Fnatic did beforehand. They play safe and they play from behind. Again, this is now helping to defend. Look at this, how big this minion wave is. The web river will actually have issues walking through here. And now we're going to get to see one of the most important things to do when you're behind. Defending. Because this will happen. Your enemies will take the advantage and they will try to finish the game. So, what does Dignitas do? Again, Fnatic already pointed out, hey, Wooby will be coming in here sometimes, maybe. With the burrow. And look at this. Now they have boss and a web weaver. So it's very, very likely that this keep will not be held. Because if you're honest, with 2 of these objectives, there's very little reason to believe that they can hold this. But look at this. This web weaver spawns so far back, it will not do anything. This one, on the other hand, might be a little bit of an issue because while the wave is pretty big, it will probably pressure the mid. But with the pushing out, as we saw with Kayn, it's better that it's here than if the web weaver spawned here, because there's not immediate pressure. This will take maybe like 15-20 seconds before it actually pressures the keep, which allows them to do the defense. And again, look how they're fighting here. Everybody's behind this line. Everybody's like behind the wall. There's nobody who can be caught out of position by people that are just here. You know, like I've seen people in Hero League oftentimes just walk here. And that's not where you want to be. Look at this. Very defensive posturing. They try to take as much damage from the boss. So why not fight into this? Why not try to do a team fight? Well, first of all, it's obviously difficult to fight into a boss that has that much health at 23 minutes. It's actually pretty powerful. With the boss done and the whirlwind and everything. So the plan here is to destroy or bring down the health of the boss and the weapons as much as possible so that once the keep is down, Fnatic can't go core. This is not a defense to save the keep. There's no way in hell that they can keep this keep. Aha. So look at how they're positioning and how they use the Riptire as well. It rarely even, like, he didn't even try to go for Mena and SMX. Like, he did a little bit of damage to SMX, but it wasn't aimed at these people. It wasn't aimed to do damage on the heroes. It's just take out the objective. Look at this. Tongue tried to get a hero, didn't get. get it, and then try to go back. Look, everybody is positioning around the fort here now so that they can't be caught everywhere else. Obviously, again, this is very late in game push, so it's very difficult to defend this. Which is why Fnatic just like cleans house now and actually gets to fight. But look at it, everybody is trying to focus the object. So Fnatic wins this game in the end by not necessarily being better at mechanical things or doing the better combos on their enemies, but by just out-sustaining the enemy, like just keeping the game alive. And if we look at XP and damage and everything, look at this, like Hammer and Junkrat did more damage. Look how little damage Blaze and Greymane did, only 25,000. Like only Deckard and Garrosh did less damage than Greymane. And like even Johanna was very close to Greymane. So you can see that it's not important as an assassin that you get many kills. It's not important. I mean, obviously Shrimpy also secured 3 kills here, the only 3 that they have. But it's not like he did huge amounts of damage. It's important that if you're behind, you defend these buildings. You defend keeps if they are defendable. And we saw that, like, they defended the keep because they knew they were safe to defend it. They never tried to defend a fort. Like, I mean, you didn't see it now because I tuned in very late, but they didn't try to defend these when they were not defendable. The same goes for Dignitas. They didn't try to defend this one. They knew this one was gone. They tried to obviously make a play and reduce the damage, the HP of the boss and the web weavers. But it was never at the point where they tried to make a play, a team fight, where they take out all 5. Because even if they take out the full team, it's very difficult to defend this here. Look at this, like even with the damage they put on the boss is still alive. They cleared the web weaver, but there's also a keep down here now. And the best thing is, look at this. This is not existent anymore. This is great. Like, look at how well Dignitas defended, actually. Like, the camp they took out the full web weaver. So the plan here to, like, give up this keep and then defend core is the best what you can do. And again, this is what I want to bring home. Is like, buildings are not that important at some point. If you can defend it, if you can defend your keep safely without dying, try. Try to get the keep. Keep the keep, as you said earlier. But if it's so late game, give up every building and just try to defend the core. In this case, it didn't work out for Dignitas, but if you look at Fnatic, hey, they defended from 3 forts down, 2 keeps nearly down, and they won the game. How? By just being safe, trying to keep the XP very even. Look at this. Blaze and Greymane both just soaking XP. Greymane is the one that has the most XP. You don't see that often, especially if you have a Soldan, and especially like if you look at Junkrat, on Snitch, just like jumping all over the place and getting XP. If you're behind in talents, and that's a TLDR, play defensively. Don't feed kills into them. On the other hand, if you do feed a kill, that's fine. Don't worry about it. You lost a hero, not the end of the world. They got a little bit more XP. It's fine. Don't feed another hero into them. If your teammate dies, just leave. If you know that your teammate's going to be dying, leave. There's no reason for you to stay. Don't defend buildings on your own. If their enemy's team is pushing with 3 or 4 people, give up the fort. There's no reason for you to stay. On top of that, once you arrive at the late game, try to stick together as much as possible. Even if there's like lanes that look very, very juicy, don't go there alone. If they are level 20 and you're not level 20, at this point, deaths matter. If you are like 18 versus 20 and you die, you might have lost the game because they will just go core. Like you lose games like this if you don't pay attention. That's it for this video. If you have any cool suggestions or ideas or comments how to make your late game better, how to come back from behind, let me know, put it in the comments, and we're going to talk about this and discuss it. But I just wanted to show you this because for me it's really funny how oftentimes we see games being lost basically in the mid game of people trying to defend forwards, and then like there's just continuous chain deaths going on that basically just cement the enemy team's lead. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.